Welcome back to the channel and to another live match reaction from the Chelsea first team. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since we've done a live episode. Normally been focused on the live match watch-alongs for the Academy, but don't forget we do all of the first team content on here as well. So make sure to like and subscribe if you're not already. We're going to get straight into it. 4-0 to Chelsea. Live match reaction. At times, it didn't look like it was going to be as easy as it turned out. And I've got to say, I think after we spurned those 4 chances in the first half, my arsehole was puckered. I was worried. I was thinking this is a banana skin ready to be slipped up on. But after a fantastic 60 minutes against Leeds on Tuesday, Liam Rosenior takes Chelsea to his 8th win from 11 games. 8 wins, 2 losses to Arsenal and 1 draw in 11 games. 73% win ratio in his opening month, in his opening 11 games. I haven't got too much to complain about tonight. And we're going to focus, we're going to talk individuals because I don't think it was particularly glamorous. But look, we're not going to get carried away off a 3-0 win against Hull in the FA Cup. So we'll talk positives. We'll talk individuals. Well, first off, Mamadou Sarr. First time we've seen him in a Chelsea shirt. Well, I mean, he played a little bit in the Club World Cup, but first time he's actually started as a Chelsea player in a Chelsea shirt, and I thought he was fairly assured. He didn't blow me away. I don't think he was anything special, but in terms of a first performance, ticked every box. Solid at the back, looked composed on the ball, didn't look too flustered whenever he was getting pressed, looked assured. You know, for a young defender, I think I was impressed. I like him. I liked him at Strasbourg last season. He's taken on the captain's armband this year. I think he's another young player akin to Andre Santos, who despite not having too much experience, not having too many games under their belt, is a player that leads by example and shows signs of leadership. I was impressed with Mamadou Sarr tonight. I thought Fofana alongside him was fairly solid, but I think in terms of a first game, all you could hope for Mamadou Sarr. And I'm not expecting him to be pushing into the first team. And if I'm completely honest, going off first team, I've got a couple of questions. Josh Achimpong, why wasn't he playing? I would have liked to see him alongside Sarr. If we're talking about the future, if we're putting out a future team, I would have liked to see Josh Achimpong start today, but fairly solid at the back. Wesley Fofana, I think more often than not, when he's fit, he's a top centre-back. I think if you were to look at Chelsea's available centre-backs in our current squad, all fit, all available, all playing to their best of their ability, I think Levi Colwill and Wes Fofana, I think they're our best centre-back pairing. But I think Mamadou Sarr, blast from the past, Mamadou Sarr, I think gave a good account of himself today. Nothing to write home about, nothing too exciting. I think particularly, and this may be me being a little bit skeptical, scrutinising a little bit early, but I didn't really see much passing range. He looked comfortable on the ball, but it was, you know, to Fofana, to Achimpong, to Caicedo, to Hato. There wasn't really too much adventurous from Sarr, but I'm not going to sit here and complain because if a centre-back comes in first game for Chelsea and starts trying to play $1 million balls, we're all going to crucify him. So you know what? I'm very, very happy with Mamadou Sarr. He's a player that, I mean, it was a toss-up between him and Anselminho, who was recalled this summer. I think it makes a lot more sense to obviously bring Sarr back. Borussia Dortmund running their mouth with Anselminho. Let him go. Let Sarr come here and develop. I do think it would have been good to leave him at Strasbourg for the rest of the season, given that he was the captain, to kind of hone those leadership skills. But that being said, I think in terms of players that play above their age group, players that look like they've been playing for a lot longer than they have, Mamadou Sarr definitely fits in that category. I think Josh Achimpong for me is a big player in terms of playing above their age group, in terms of maturity, in terms of looking like they've been there for 10 more years than they have. I think Josh Achimpong is the prime candidate. He is a player that at 19 years old plays like he has been marking top centre forwards in the Premier League for 5-10 years. But Mamadou Sarr, by all accounts, gave a good showing today, and very pleased for him, particularly getting that clean sheet. You know, Robert Sanchez not having too much to do, but making a couple of saves late on. I think all in all, the first half, incredibly dominant. I think we started very well, which was a surprise to me because recently when I've watched Chelsea, bar the Wolves game where obviously we ripped them apart by half time, I think Chelsea have started poorly as of late. But today, started dominant, started strong, keeping the ball, putting pressure on. 4 chances, I think, by 25 minutes, and we should have been at least 3-0 up. Because the first two, the first one fell to Delat, bundled that. Second one, fell to the Garnacho, bundled that. Second one, rebound, found to Neto. You could argue that's one chance. Esteval showed exceptional composure. I mean, the touch, the ball over the top from Chalobah in that first half to get to Esteval, the touch, the composure to take it round the keeper. I'm glad he got his goal in the end because I think if he hadn't scored tonight, that actually could have been quite a damaging performance or damaging moment for Esteval. I feel like he, as a player, would have been kicking himself if he hadn't have come away from today with at least an assist or got 1 goal contribution. Obviously, got his goal, wasn't the most glamorous, but did his part. I think Andre Santos, staying on the course of Brazilians, Andre Santos, he was going to be my short from midweek. I think I was very surprised that Caicedo started. I think today was the perfect opportunity. And I know that Lavia, although he's back in training, he's not fit. Dario Asugo, still injured. I know we're lacking cover in the centre of midfield, but I was fully expecting Reggie Walsh to deputise, potentially Keanu Dyer, Sam Raksaki, Ollie Harrison McMahon. I was expecting a little bit of rotation in the centre midfield. So I was surprised that he did go with Caicedo. And look, anybody that knows me, anybody that has ever watched this channel knows I am Caicedo's #1 fan. I love Moises Caicedo. I tell you what, I would die for that man. But he is looking a little bit tired. And I felt that again today. I don't know if it was necessary to play him. I know we've got a week off now until our next game against Burnley, but I don't know if it was necessary to play Caicedo for 60 minutes, particularly when you have a player of Andre Santos' caliber ready to deputise. The amount of times that I've said this guy is the best of both worlds when you look at Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. He has all the top defensive attributes of Moises Caicedo, but he also has the top attacking attributes looking forward of Enzo Fernandez. And I don't think we as Chelsea fans have seen him occupying that same role as he did in Strasbourg. And I don't think we've seen him with as much attacking output and creative output as he had last season at Strasbourg. But I'm very hopeful that that can be unlocked because him and Rosinha obviously have a very, very good relationship. Rosinha got the best out of him last season. And this is a player that, with all the conversations around Adam Wharton, Elliot Anderson, look, they're fantastic players. And I would not be against Chelsea getting more central midfield reinforcements, particularly when we talk about Romeo Lavia, Dario Asugo. Their lack of availability is starting to hurt us when it comes to the rotation. I think in January, we should have gone balls to the wall for Kobe Mainu. I think that deal was there for the taking. When Amorim wasn't playing him, should have tapped him up. He's a player that reportedly we've been in for before. But now, I know they're going to get a new manager, but now under Michael Carrick, he's a bigger part of the team. I feel like he's going to be harder to pry away from Manchester United. But on a similar level, I think Andre Santos is a midfielder with world-class potential. I think he has all the attributes, as I've said, defensive like Caicedo, attacking like Enzo. I think he is a pure box-to-box, number 8. He can be the ultimate all-round midfielder. And that's not to say that he'll be better than Caicedo or Enzo, who are both fantastic in their own individual rights and both have their own specialised position. But in this modern day of football, where everything is so specialised, everything is so compartmentalised on the pitch, I feel like Andre Santos is a player, and Chelsea have been targeting players that can do 2-3 roles, particularly across the front line in the last 5 years. But Andre Santos is one of those that can do 4 or 5 roles. He can, if need be, he can play in defence. He can sit and be a Makalele. He can push higher and be a Kante. He can push even higher and be an Enzo. I can't remember what his goal contributions last year were for Strasbourg, but they were definitely plus 10. He was bagging last year. Left foot, right foot, head. This guy, I'm telling you, serious player. Serious future ahead of him. And the fact that we paid just 12 million for him from Vasco da Gama, we could have already recouped his fee 4 times in summer. What were there? Bids of 50, 60 mil on the table from teams in Saudi Arabia. I think even teams in Europe. But this is a player that we could charge, if we were looking to sell, we could charge 80, 90 mil. I'm telling you, he is the complete midfielder. And he was one of my top performers today. I think he was fantastic. And as I mentioned, Caicedo, a little bit tired, which means Andre Santos had all the more work to do. But he did it fantastically. And moving forward, I think Pedro Neto is a player that has come under incredible scrutiny recently. Unbelievable. Considering the players that we have at our disposal, considering the pecking order over the last 2, this is a guy that this is his second season. Last year was his first year. He is now under a new manager in Liam Rosinha. And I am and always have been a firm believer that Pedro Neto is one of our 2 best wingers. I've always said our best wing pairing is Esteval and Pedro Neto. And I will be the first to hold my hands up and say, you know what? He hasn't been putting it in last few weeks. I think his delivery is 10-10. I think his work rate is 10-10. Last few weeks, he's dropped off. I've been to the bridge. I've seen him off the ball, languishing, jogging back, walking around. We've seen the crosses. What was the game the other week where he had 15 crosses and didn't land a single one? The first player to ever do that, I think. Definitely this season in the Premier League. No question that his performances have dropped off, but today he showed why he deserves that spot. And particularly with, the stress of having Gittins out. So we are 1 option short in terms of the wings. Look, Garnacho don't even get close. Garnacho couldn't lace Pedro Neto's boots. I think from what we've seen, Jamie Gittins is not better than Pedro Neto. Esteval, I think tonight was probably, and this is me being incredibly critical, tonight was probably Esteval's worst performance, I'd say. I'd say there was one other where he got marked out the game. I can't remember who it was, but he had 2 defenders on him and he got marked out of the game in a Premier League game. And he really struggled there. He got pulled off at halftime. That was up there. But I think this, on the face of it, Hull didn't double up on him. He had 1 defender to go out the whole game. This 90 minutes was Esteval Williams for the taking. And I'm very surprised that he didn't do more. And I am a little bit disappointed in terms of his level of performance. But this is where you got your players like Pedro Neto, most senior player in the side today. How old? Pedro Neto, 26? Oldest player in the squad today? Let's just double check this. But Pedro Neto, I think, led by example. I think it took him a minute as well. And that's the worrying thing, is I think we started fantastically, but we squandered those 4 chances. And all of a sudden, we're looking scrappy at the back. We're looking like the championships. If you were to tell me after Pedro Neto is 25 years old and he was our most senior player on the pitch, madness. But if you were to tell me 10 minutes in who was who, chalk and cheese. Chelsea had a Premier League team. Hull are going to be taking a battering. They're just going to be sitting in a low block. And I've got to give them credit. I think at times they were really, really positive, really hard to break down today. Really, really good shape, really disciplined. But I think Chelsea, the ascendant, we were climbing. Momentum was building. We had that Garnacho Neto chance, had that Esteval chance. And then after that Delap chance, right. Let's take a minute. Moment of silence for Liam Delap. Because I'll tell you what, he might have got 3 assists. He might have got, what is that? A 9.3 rating on FootMob. My Lord. Fire that FootMob hire. Fire that FootMob employee. Whoever is doing the ratings, I hope it's AI, because it would just back my conversation that AI is fucking useless. Who gave Liam Delap a 9.3 rating? Brother, this is a live stream. If there is not someone in the comments, point me to whoever the fuck is. Does anybody know anybody that works for FootMob? Because why has he got a 9.3 rating, bro? 3 assists. You want to credit him 3 assists? Layoffs. Short 1-2s. Look, great hold-up play, don't get me wrong. But there is no way we're sitting here and saying Liam Delap gave a 9.3 out of 10 performance. That goal, that chance in the first half alone knocks off at least 5. At least 5. Brother did the Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer's on commentary. And here's my man not putting the ball over the line. There was goal line technology. They all said as well that, oh, there's no goal line technology. There was, but it didn't beep because it won a fucking goal. What are you celebrating? That there, it leads into what I was saying in midweek. And you can go back and watch my Leeds match report. Is I was talking about a fine line between inexperience and naivety. Because a lot of these players are, I don't want to say massively, hugely experienced, but a lot of these players, even for their age, they've got 3-4 years at the top level under their belt. Players like Chalobah, players like Reece James, players like Pedro Neto have been around. They've been around a block. They know what it takes. But the difference between inexperience and naivety, it's not necessarily how many games you've played. It's how to deal with difficult situations, how to deal with games on the big stage where you have to close it out, where you have to play nasty, where you have to settle for a clean sheet. These Chelsea players do not know what that takes. Even the experience, even the ones with seasons under their belt, do not know what it takes. And at times in that first half, after missing those 4 chances, this is where a team like Bayern Munich, just continue, just go at them and at them. They might miss 4, but they're going to create 4 more and they're going to score them. But this Chelsea side looked like the naivety was creeping in. 4 chances we squandered, and it looked like the team was going, fuck, this isn't our day. We're not going to score. So what, do we keep going? Do we do something different? Keep going. Do the same thing. And I'm glad that the game turned out like it did today. Because I feel like for a moment, particularly in the first half, for about 5 minutes, it was on a knife edge. It could have gone either way. I feel like as in control as we were, I feel like one Hull attack, one counter attack could have turned it on its head, could have given us a real problem. And I've got to give credit to the defense and the way that they kept that clean sheet. I was very impressed. Look, it's Hull. I weren't that impressed. There were some real scrappy moments. I'm gonna drop the face of optimism for a minute. We've got right. Let's just have a quick look for our fixtures as well. So we've got Burnley next week. After that, all in March, Arsenal, Villa, Newcastle, Everton away. Then April, Man City, Man United, Brighton, Nottingham Forest. Sorry, that's May. May, Nottingham Forest, Liverpool, Tottenham, Sunderland. I don't see an easy game. Bar Brentford, fucking Burnley. We've played all our easy games. We've played all the teams that we should beat easily on paper. We've got some big games. And I'll tell you what, if there is that lack of communication, that indecisiveness at the back, as there was at times today, set pieces, balls coming in the box, we struggle to deal with them. We need that authority. And I said it in midweek. I don't necessarily think you need an experience, a player with 30 years, a player 32, whatever. You just need a world-class centre-back. And I think it's a big issue for Chelsea because they see, obviously, and we as fans, I myself see Levi Colwill coming back into this team, going straight into the first 11. He is, it's absolutely nuts to think that these other defenders have had, 6-7 months to prove himself. And still we're going, get Levi back. Bring him back. He's better than all of it. But who's going to take that second spot? If Chelsea was serious, if these owners were serious, they would have gone out in the in January. We know they've got the money. A, from the business that we've done in the last couple of years, and B, the fact that they bought the club for £4 billion or however much they spent on it. We know they've got the money. Stop being stingy with it. You've gone out and bought a player in Cole Palmer that's going to be your number 10 for 10 years. You've gone out and bought a player in Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez that are going to be your centre mids for 10 years. Why can you not do that with a centre back? Why have we got to go through the whole rigmarole every single transfer window? Badiashile, Disasi, Hato, Anselminho. Now Mamadou Sarr. Look, I'm not saying I don't rate these players and I don't think they could be very, very good and they show fantastic potential and the ceiling is there. I don't want to be saying the words potential and ceiling. I want to be looking at a player like, heaven forbid, Virgil van Dijk, William Saliba. I want to be looking at a top centre-back. And yes, the market is not particularly easy. Definitely not with centre-backs to try and price someone away. But how many times have we been linked with Bastoni? How many times have we been linked with, not that I want him anymore, Araujo, Jules Koundé? Go out and get a player of that calibre, and I guarantee you the back line and the midfield in front of them are going to be more settled, and the goalkeeper as well. Experience, quality inspires confidence. And that is the main thing that this Chelsea team is lacking at the moment, is confidence in their own ability, which is nuts to say because you look at the individuals and they all seem extremely confident. They all want to take them out. They all want to, on the face of it, they all look like very, very bright young prospects. But they get the ball and they don't want to beat their man. They don't want to have a shot. They want to go sideways. They want to go backwards. When Palmer's not on that pitch, we are distinctly lacking inspiration. And I was kind of hoping that Esteval would be the one to step in there, fill that gap. I feel like he's still taking a minute to adjust to the English game. And tonight showed that. Another goal on the board, his 7th of the season. Fantastic, great reading. And I'm very, very happy with him and impressed with him. And I think he is going to be one of the best players in the world for the next decade. But Chelsea can't be relying on 1-2 players. We've done that for the last 2 years with Cole Palmer. And we've been scraping Champions League. Nothing in domestic. We haven't won, obviously, Club World Cup, but I haven't won any of the 4. And that is where we really need to lay down a marker this season. I think FA Cup, I was surprised at how strong we went tonight. But you know what? Balls to the wall. Prioritise it. I think the FA Cup should be our priority this year. I think obviously top 4 is what we're aiming for. Champions League, we go as far as we can. But look, I'm not expecting to win Champions League. If we win Champions League, it will be like the other 2 Champions League wins. Ridiculous underdogs, massively overperform. Under promise, over deliver. That's what I want from this Chelsea side. And I think, look, the FA Cup is there for the taking. It's a domestic trophy. Everybody knows, anything could happen in a domestic cup. I think league, we're fairly well placed. I think given the tough games we've got to buckle down, and it's got to be one of those where we have to cut the defensive mistakes out immediately and have to put in performance after performance after performance. But if we can take points off Arsenal, Man United, Aston Villa, Tottenham, it's looking good for us. And I think we could finish the season in very positive stead. And a lot of these players, I think, are progressing in the way in which we want them to. However, there are the negatives. And unfortunately, you're not going to get a live stream with me without talking about a couple of the negatives. Liam Delap, obviously, we already discussed that very briefly. Retard behaviour. How old? Right. There's 14 people in the. Oh, reminder! Make sure to like, subscribe, drop your comments, drop your suggestions in the comments. Who do you think was man of the match today? What do you think of the game? Do you think Chelsea deserved it? Let me know. I'll get involved. I'm going to read a couple of the comments now. I can see Amir in the cut. Big up my guy. Shout out Morocco. But talking about the negatives very, very quickly. So Liam Delap, obviously, that chance that he missed in the first half, diabolical. I think. You can sit here and say he got 3 assists, he set up 3 goals. I think his hold-up play was great in the second half. But look, João Pedro's been fantastic. João Pedro's been putting in some unbelievable performances as a number 9 with great hold-up play, but also with real attacking threat. Every time he gets the ball and drives forward, I think something's going to happen. Either he or somebody else is going to score. With Liam Delap, I just don't feel that. I feel like he is not confident. I feel like we can feel it through the TV screen. When he gets the ball, he's not confident. He doesn't know where he's going to go. He doesn't know what he's going to do. This is a big, strong, quick lad with very, very good striking ability. We've seen it for Chelsea, for Ipswich, for Hull. We've seen it for a number of teams. but he just doesn't seem to have the confidence. And I don't know whether that's because different team shape, different, level of service. I'm not really sure, but Liam Delap just doesn't seem, I mean, I was looking at him when he came in the summer, 30 mil. Excellent signing. How many times have Chelsea signed someone in the 30 mil region and they've turned out to be an absolute gem? And even if they're not, in this day and age, 30 million is fairly easy recoupable. We got 20 million for Armando Broja from Burnley, bro. We should be able to get 30 million from Liam Delap. You've got championship sides paying that money now. So I'm not too worried about recouping that, but he was a player that I was fairly excited for. Definitely wasn't my number one choice. Definitely wouldn't have been who I'd gone for as a main number 9, as a starting striker. But I think as somebody that can come on and do a job, throw himself about, be physical, poacher in the box, I liked everything about his profile, but he just has not shown any of that for Chelsea. When was the last time he got on the end of a cross? Has he scored a headed goal for Chelsea, or have they all been runs in behind? And even then, I need to read this from memory because it was an excellent text from my dad. This was before halftime as well. Delap is absolutely useless. Can't track a bag of cement. Now, as funny as that is to me, who tracks cement? I feel like that don't make sense, but he's not wrong. He couldn't track Santa on a fucking NORAD. He couldn't track his missus on Find My iPhone. He couldn't track a fucking AirTag, mate. Honestly, I don't get it. Because I've seen little bits. I've seen glimpses. We saw the finish against, what was it, Flamengo or whatever in the Club World Cup. We saw him bully defenders last season for Ipswich with very little service and very little to do up front. But he was extremely physical and extremely aggressive in all the right ways. But it seems like he's taken all of those aspects and applied them in a negative way for Chelsea. And I don't get it. Honestly, don't get it. I see the quality there, but I just, for the player, for the profile he is, he's just not doing enough. And João Pedro, obviously, doing bits at the moment, just hit 10 in the Prem. I think anybody that's choosing Delap over João Pedro is either brain dead or Stevie Wonder. It is one of the two. There are no other choices. And on the wing, I mean, look, Garnacho, I ain't going to talk anymore about him. I hate him. I think he's awful. I've always said I will back a Chelsea player if they are a Chelsea player. If they are part of our club, I will back them until they give me a reason not to. I was not a fan of the Garnacho move, but I said, you know what? We've signed a player with great potential for 40 million in today's market. Not a very big fee. Let's see what we can squeeze out of him. I wasn't expecting much, and he has still disappointed me. I think he's extremely poor on and off the ball. Seems like the domestic cups were his competition. Arsenal, Cardiff, they were the games where he scored his only goals for Chelsea, made his only real contributions. Yeah, tonight, playing against the whole City right back, one-on-one, not doubled up on, he flopped. He was awful. And I am not a fan of Garnacho. And I am very, very glad, because something that I've been calling for a long time, at least a couple of months now, is a call-up for Jesse Derry. 18-year-old Jesse Derry. This player, I mean, he didn't do enough tonight to really talk about. However, I want to educate you. If you are unfamiliar with Jesse Derry, superb player. Plays primarily on the left wing, can play on the right wing as well, but he is right-footed, so he benefits off playing off the left. He joined from Crystal Palace Academy in the summer. He is the son of Sean Derry, ex-Wigan player. He is a phenomenal winger. He is extremely tricky, extremely confident. If you type in Jesse Derry into YouTube, you're going to see comps, you're going to see skills, you're going to see tricks, flicks. This is a player that takes joy in facing up his opposite number. This is a player that loves going at his fullback and beating him. This is a player that genuinely gets pleasure from making things happen. And I do think from a lot of players in the academy, they've got the technical ability, they've got the quality to do a job for the majority of first teams. However, it's the physicality, it's the application, it's how composed they are when they get on the pitch and in the final third and in those big moments. And I do think from what I've seen from Jesse Derry obviously last season, highlights, comps from Crystal Palace, but this season, watched him extensively with the under-18s, with the under-19s in the UEFA Youth League, with the under-21s as well in the Premier League too. This is a player with exceptional ability, and I'm very, very glad that he got his first call-up and his first minutes tonight, the first, hopefully, of many. He is a player that I would be putting ahead of Garnacho in the winger hierarchy. Particularly with Gittins injured, this is the perfect time to bring in both Jesse Derry and Ryan Kavuma-McQueen, both of whom can play off either side, can use both feet, can score with both feet, both of whom are exceptionally good quality youngsters. And I'm very, very pleased that Jesse Derry got on. I sent out a couple of messages earlier after seeing him in the team. I said, look, he's not going to get on unless it's 3-4-0. I really hope he does. I really hope he gets a chance to show himself. He didn't really get an opportunity to do too much. I don't think he had too many touches, but it's the experience that counts. It's the first time he's been involved in a matchday squad, the first time he's got on the pitch for the first team, and it is a huge, monumental moment for him. So I've got to say, congratulations to Jesse Derry. And anybody that wants to know more about Jesse Derry, we don't just cover first team on this channel. I do so much academy content. Make sure you go back and watch live match watch-alongs, match reactions, match reports from the under-18s and under-21s, and the Blueprint episode or new series that focuses on individual youth players, their path to the first team, what their potential is. Jesse Derry will be an upcoming episode of that. Episode 2 dropping next week. But for now, focusing on the Chelsea first team, we now have a week off. We now have an entire week until Burnley on Saturday, 3 p.m. We are back in Premier League action, 5th in the league, couple of points behind Manchester United, but we will be hoping to close that gap next week. Let me know what you thought of tonight's performance. Who was your man of the match? I'm going to go through a couple of comments now. Amir, I don't know if you're still with us, but if you are, big up yourself. Big up anybody that's watched or joined in any capacity on this stream. As I mentioned, it is live, so if you are still rocking with us, make sure to drop a comment, get involved. We won't be live very much longer. But yeah, what a huge win. I think, what is that style? Don't like that. There we go. That's better. Yeah, I mean, look, we were expecting it, so I'm not going to, no one's getting too carried away. It is a lower league team. It was FA Cup. We did play a very, very strong 11, so I would have expected nothing but a win. But yeah, on to the next one. Amir, if you're still on, what do you think? And anybody else, let me know what you think. If you were to rate Liam Rosenior, so Liam Rosenior has been in charge for 11 games now. I would say rate it out of 11. Let's make it a nice round 10. How would you rate his first month as Chelsea manager out of 10? Leave a comment below. Would you give him a 10 out of 10? He's played 11 games as Chelsea manager. He's won 8, drawn 1, lost 2, I believe. Both of which were to Arsenal in the League Cup. So yet to lose a league game. Look, I think the first few games I was a bit hesitant, a bit sceptical. A, because I didn't really want Maresca to go, and B, because I didn't really see much of a change in terms of the style, the build-up play, the positioning, the team selection. I felt like it was very Maresca-esque, even when Rosenior took over. And I did kind of have a nagging thought in the back of my mind, is this the owners laying down their marker and say, you've got to play this player, you've got to play this player? But I do think in the last couple of weeks, we've seen more development. I think we've seen better football. I think the 60 minutes we played against Leeds, the first half against Leeds, was probably the best 45 we've played this season, definitely this calendar year. But again today, playing some nice stuff, dominant until we weren't. But it is just now about maintaining that dominance, about keeping that for 90 minutes and about grinding out a performance. But 4-0 today, through to the next round, 4 goals, clean sheet, players back on the score sheet, Pedro Neto back in form. I'm very, very happy. I've got absolutely nothing to complain about tonight. Amir, I don't know, but you know what, bro? I was thinking this earlier. See, there's a lot of people on Instagram particularly and TikTok that post a lot of content that doesn't really mean anything. So Chelsea will release like breaking news. This has happened. Someone signed a new contract. And you'll see 20 different accounts reposting this. And, it's original. It's it's exclusive content. Nah, that's aggregation, bro. That's not even journalism. That's aggregation. That's taking a source from someone else and using it. I am not here for likes. If I was here for likes, if I was here for viral, whatever, A, I wouldn't be such a cunt on live, and B, I'd be doing shorts every day and I'd be pushing the TikTok and do that. I know that works because I've built up a platform, but I'm not doing that. I'm here to support the team. I'm here to push the youngsters. Players like Jesse Derry, that moment tonight when he came on warmed my heart. I felt proud, bro. I felt like a dad. I'm fucking 10 years older than this geezer. I felt like this guy's fucking proud uncle. Seeing these players take the pitch, having a positive effect on the Chelsea fan base. That's what I want to do. I want to put positivity into the Chelsea sphere. Not like these nonsense like Rory Jennings, just sitting here whinging, having a go at fucking everybody and their nan. Look, fantastic performance today. Yeah. Let me know what you thought below. Let me know what you thought of the performance. Let me know who you thought your man of the match was. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. This week, I know I've been promising it for weeks. I was in New York last week. My bad. I've taken a week off. But next week, you are going to get both. Maybe this weekend, you're going to get Loan Watch, the January edition, summing up all of Chelsea's loans across the globe for January 2026. Covering, of course, the callbacks, the new loans, etc., etc. And then next week, Blueprint Episode 2. I've been promising it for a while. It's coming. Ryan Kavuma-McQueen. We're going to go deep into who he is, what he's good at, what his path into the first team looks like. Make sure if you like the Chelsea Academy, if you want to know more about it, make sure to tap in and subscribe to the channel. Very last but not least, appreciate you joining. Garvey Moxie. Which one's the first name? It's got to be Mox. I don't know. Fucking tell me. I think Rosini has been good so far. We are starting to play good football. Players are improving. Illness and injuries didn't help in Arsenal. We have to keep up. Big games coming. Agreed. It's been a very positive start. We will see how that positivity carries over into the bigger games. We have got to remember that out of these 11 games we've played 3-4 big opposition, 2 of which we've lost to Arsenal, who, fair play, hold up. And I hate to say it, one of the best teams in Europe at the moment, one of the hardest teams in Europe to break down and to score past at the moment. We lost those games, but we've beaten everybody else. But you're right, there are harder tests to come, bigger games to come. And just running through 5 minutes ago, the teams that we've got to play in March, April, May. There's a lot of big names in there, man. Man United, Man City, Tottenham, Liverpool, Newcastle, Brighton. Some big, even though certain teams, Brighton there, aren't doing too well, we're still going to struggle. There's still going to be a big challenge for us. So lots more to come. Fingers crossed that we are in the ascendancy after a very solid performance against Leeds, or very solid 60 minutes against Leeds, and then a nice, easy, clean sheet tonight. Fingers crossed the wins continue rolling. Make sure to like and subscribe. Anybody that's joined so far, appreciate you. Appreciate your support. Appreciate you. Big up yourself. Make sure to follow @twobluespodcast on the Instagram for all the latest updates. Until then, you know what it is, man. Up the Chelsea.